What is going on here? We have Fiend Smith, Magical Musketeer is here alongside Unchained. Oh my Jesus, hi to you. I want to see how great this deck is against Blue Eyes White Dragon with Raigeki. What is a blind second Blue Eyes deck? Begin.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
We're going to start this off with our Lacrima normal summon send from the deck, our Engraver. We have no hand traps. We're going to speed this up. What are our disruptions, mate? The Soul of Rage is essentially 3 disruptions in once. It's going to link off a monster, that's a disruption. It goes into a Little Knight Banish, and then Little Knight Secondary Banish. We also have double Special Summon Negate with the Wave King Caesar. We also have the Escape of the Unchained, pop any card in the field, then the Soul of Rage will reborn itself back in the field. And we have an Ash Blossom, 7 forms of disruption. We do have a Board Breaker, and the Drill Beam is also activatable. Oh boy. Raigeki, the field. So what do we lose here? With a Raigeki, we knocked off 3 disruptions at least, because we lost the Wave King Caesar, we lost the ability to use the Escape and reborn the Soul of Rage. So we're now down to just 4 forms of disrupt, essentially just the Soul of Rage and the Ash, and we're going to now be popping the Soul of Rage as it's about to get Drill Beam banished off the field. So our 4 forms of disruption are now down to 2. From 7 to 2 with a Raigeki and a Drill Beam. Nicely done. Come forth and summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon alongside it. We're going to summon our Sage, Ash Blossom, negate the Sage from searching for a potential, we're the Maiden. We're Maidenless now. We have no way to set up the True Light. And we're going to use Escape to wipe away the Sage before they synchro it up. I think in general, in most cases, you ideally want to be starting off the barrel. In this case, we did have our Drill Beam already in hand. Now, a Sage could not bridge its way into barrel, but barrel could bridge its way into Sage. But as I said, to not repeat myself, we already had the beam. We're going to be returning the Sequence Engrave to reborn our Engraver back in the field, further going into a Requiem. Requiem is going to be summoning from the deck another copy of the Engraver, equip onto the Engraver the Requiem, send Requiem to send the Blue Eyes White Dragon to the graveyard. Can we put up 8,000 damage? Surely. We're going to use the... Gianna, what's up? In-game music, thank you. We're going to use the effect of the Sarama to set a trap, pop the trap, summon from the deck. We're going into an Aerial Eater through its own effect, banishing double Shavara from the graveyard. That's a lot of damage. That is more than enough for lethal damage, especially after reborning our Engraver onto the field. 9,500 damage plus an additional 1,200 damage from the Lacrima being sent to the grave, which we don't even have to do. Let's hop into game number 2. Oh boy. Oh boy. Begin. Set Drill Beam, then summon Barrel. Okay. We're going to respond to the barrel with the Food Loss. We're not going to impermit, as the Ash Blossom negates the Food Loss, mate. Now we have the barrel setting up the load. Load's going to activate searching for a second copy of Drill Beam. We're going to further link this up into a Spear with Eyes of Blue, searching for the field spell here, imperm, negate. Now we're going to use Drill Beam to negate and banish the impermanence to ensure we actually get that Mausoleum from our deck to our hand. Now, interestingly, we don't have a way to bridge into Sage, nor Maiden, no True Light, no Wishes. So we didn't really need this Mausoleum. But the Drill Beam was kind of extra. What else were we going to use it on? We're going to use this Spirit with Eyes of Blue, reborn our Blue Eyes White Dragon from the graveyard after sending it from the deck to the grave with the Mausoleum. We're going to use Lordy Load to summon from the hand, deck, or grave our Blue Eyes White Dragon as we now go into a what? The heck? That is not a Hieratic Seal, which would spin a card in the field. Instead, you detach a material, and then neither player could summon from the graveyard. I guess that you can't Engraver now. Okay, sure. No Engraver, no Yama reborn from the graveyard. Sure, maybe that's a counter. But did you forget to activate the effect? Oh, you can't. You didn't forget. You can't. If you special summon with the Lordy Load, you're locked out of being able to activate your effect. And your drill beam is not activatable right now. So we actually ended on 0 disruption. Uh-oh. Wow. It was a good idea, though, if it actually went through, to stop the Engraver from reborning. Musketeer, Max is here. We are going to be summoning from the deck per, I think, what is it, back row the opponent controls, that is. Up to the number of spell and trap cards the opponent controls, summoning double Musketeer from the deck. So it does showcase that the Magical Musketeer deck has some good go second plays through the Magical Musketeer Max itself. As we reborn our Engraver, equip onto it our Requiem. We're going to send the Sky Prison to the graveyard. Let's speed this up. Unfortunately, Fool Loss is not activatable. Even when we have no monsters, we have to control absolutely nothing to activate the Fool Loss. And just like that, 8,100 damage here. Magical Musketeer, let's go. That's the cool looking card, right? Yeah? Okay, you know, kind of generic. Let's hop into another one. Let's go, let's do it. Wedju Temple is going to put a monster from our hands to the back row, plus our Senju, which is going to be summoning from the back row. The Fool Loss actually does not draw from them summoning from the back row. There's no Mulcharmy. The Mulcharmies cover the hand, the extra deck, the deck, the graveyard, the banish, but Konami forgot about the back row, which, since Pirellia is just the hand, maybe Pirellia could have also been the back row. So what did we accomplish here? We have a secondary banish with Little Knight, we have a finger, but more importantly, this states while Umi's on the field, and it is, because the Sea Stealth 2 counts as Umi, each player can only control one face-up non-water. Uh-oh, I don't think we have any water in our deck. So how do we deal with that? We're gonna attract, grab the Lurie. So you may be thinking, okay, Requiem into Engraver, equip Requiem, send the Kuryushin, and then it no longer floodgates, right? You'd be a cheater. You can't do that. That you can't use a non-water to summon a non-water because Konami says so. You can't even go into Requiem here, even though we control one non-water. We're going to Engraver, grab Attract. As we activate the Giant Sling, searching for an Argostar, Fierce Parth. I don't think there's anything we could do. I think we're just activating cards. Yep, we're setting. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting floodgated, mate. What the hell is that? Gonna grab a Sea Stealth attack 2 to defense. Now, if you try to attack into it at its 1700 defense, and that just kills it right away through the floodgate effect, you get destroyed at the start of the damage step. What do we do? What do we do? What can we do? We're just going to clear our field to be able to summon an Argostar at least, right? There you go. Audra is here. Audra has the ability to set up 2 back row cards, which will not be... You would think that this is a huge misplay. Why did you do this? It's actually a mandatory effect, which it doesn't even help you really. On summon, you have to activate where they can't respond to your continuous traps, and then your secondary effect, which is what you want to activate, which is to banish this card you control to set up 2 back row cards, which the Little Knight cannot stop. So the Konami card design screwed this. Lacrima is going to be reborning the Ignumde, as we're also going to be flipping up the Sea Stealth attack, temporarily banishing the Kuryushin, as only then can we now activate the Ignumde to reborn a monster from Engrave. So we're no longer floodgating ourselves here. 4,200 attack. Oh my Jesus. As we're now going to be sending away our Little Knight. The Audra is not a quick effect for some reason, which I feel like she really should be. Not cool. Why'd they make the Argostar so balanced? We're going to be searching for a Legendary Ocean. All we have to do is get the Lacrima Engraved just like that for Requiem, but we had to get rid of the Kuryushin because we were floodgated from going into Requiem. Burned for 1,200 damage. Is the first effect of Audra ever good? Like, is it really good? They could not activate in response to the activation of your continuous traps or their effects, I guess you now can't negate the effect that would spin a card on the field. I don't know. That it just doesn't seem good. Begin. Reinforce our hand as we're going to Ash Blossom negate reinforcement of the army, which is quite an interesting negate. You would only really negate this if you are for sure knowing what kind of deck the opponent's playing. And because of that, I would then say this is a good negate, because otherwise the Audra you could not use Ash Blossom on. She on summon activates, is not ashable. She then banishes to set 2 continuous traps to the deck, and then you get really screwed. So it really does hurt knowing that what deck we're playing against. That messes them up big time, and now they pass on pretty much nothing because of that. Essentially sniped. Engraver is going to be searching for a tract here. Our Ash does not matter because they do have a finger ready to use it. We're going to be using it likely on the Requiem play. Otherwise, the tract adding Lurie is a good play to also use Ash on. We're going to use Anguish Pattern. This states that if a card is special summoned from your back or while you control this as a monster, you can target 1 card in the field and destroy it. Burn for 500. I think it's every time a continuous trap activates. Sure. As we have Requiem to summon from the deck, we did not even bother ashing that. What are we saving our Ash for instead? Maybe the Karyushin searching for Umi, which is what we're suspecting. Because we know the Fiendsmith part of this deck it's fake. Or we needed the Ash to discard to even summon the Argostar Lightning Tadeu, which will now trigger the Anguish Pattern to pop a card in the field. Now we have another form of disruption here, and that is through the field spell. If our continuous trap activates to put itself in the back row, we could then on a separate chain link. So what would be good is they summon sequence, then we are going to use the continuous trap to negate the sequence before it activates. That would be our play. We have Engraver is going to force the early activation of the trap. Thus, the field spell is now not going to be able to negate the sequence, which was the ideal play. We have the Millennium Senjin into the back row, summon from the back row. We got nothing. Well, let's speed this up. This is nothing. Yep. I'm thinking, what can we do? Audra can make the attack of a monster 0 until the end of the turn. That's really not much. We have the Dragluxion searching for the 7 Tachyon. Does this bridge our way into the Karyushin? What the heck are you doing, Heretic Sky Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis? And now we got the sequence, which is what we needed, the continuous trap plus field spell combo to negate before it activates. We're going to summon the Lacrima. Whoa, wait, whoa. What happened? Your connection failed? Huh? Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect that targets a card in your field, your graveyard, and or your banished cards, detach 1 material, negate the activation. Negate a Bestial. That's interesting. And people save Imperm or Veiler for the sequence. So negate Imperm or Veiler on sequence, negate a Bestial on your Engraver reborning from Engrave. This is a good idea. Really good idea. I liked that. Okay, nice. I guess, I think trap plays surrendered or closed the client because they were in time, because that's the final duel, and I see that trap plays has moved on to another match. So let's continue another duel of trap plays after that. We knew trap play was going to win that turn anyway, right? So we didn't really get robbed of a match here. The disconnect when they were going to win. So let's do it. Let's go. Wedju Temple it up. We are in round 2, game 1. As we're summoning our Senjin for the back row, Golem's going to put itself into the back row. We're going to summon a Doomed Dragon as we now go into the Shadow Dragon Dragluxion, which will be searching our deck for the 7th Tachyon. And then we're going to rank this up into an anti-Bestial play. Ain't no way. Only once per turn, when they activate a Bestial to target a card in the graveyard, do we get to negate that Bestial and destroy that card. Unfortunately, there is more than one Bestial, though. And now you go into the Fiendsmith plays where, in a way, it is protected. And also, it protects your sequence from getting Veilered or Impermanenced. So you may be thinking, oh, just go into the Photon Lord. It's essentially the same thing. You're kind of right, but you're also kind of wrong, because this can negate Impermanence where the Photon Lord can't. This also destroys where the Photon Lord doesn't. And this was also after searching for a 7th Tachyon. So this, in many ways, could just be better than Photon Lord, and you should definitely consider it. This does take up 2 spots in your extra deck, though. That's definitely worth considering, as we have negated one of the Bestials and followed up with the other. Serenir sent for the deck here. Lubellion, which we can clearly see is already in the hand. 7 Tachyon, you lose a card from your hand by searching the Karyushin. We have not even committed to the normal summon yet. Just like that, we have Legendary Ocean to normal summon the Karyushin as we search for a Sea Stealth attack. So with the Sea Stealth attack at the start of the damage step, it will destroy any monster that battles into the Karyushin, and the Karyushin is stating that right now, each player can only control 1 non-water. You can't tribute summon over, you can't link 1 into a non-water. Once you have that non-water, it's there. You could tribute set though. I guess you could Beast of Talwar tribute set if you really wanted to. To battle we go, Sea Stealth attack, start of the damage step, wipe it out, which does free them up from now being able to activate or summon a barrel. And we do get to possibly make a Drill Beam play. The issue is the Sea Stealth attack will protect the Karyushin from Drill Beam. So what do? We'd have to Drill Beam the Sea Stealth attack, reset the Drill Beam, and then Drill Beam the Karyushin again. Now, is this activatable? You have to detach a material to negate the activation. We have no more material, so this is just vanilla. Nothing. Let's reveal. Ooh, we made the wrong play. Unless we wanted to make a bunch of plays in addition to that. Maybe even banishing the Legendary Ocean could have been a play. We're going to reset the Drill Beam now. And unless we're bridging this into additional plays as we temporarily got rid of that Floodgate, we could still go into, I would say, a Desiree. Get Desiree in graveyard by making the Ignumde. Desiree will then send the Sea Stealth attack or the Legendary Ocean to the graveyard. Now, the Sea Stealth attack can play Umi from the graveyard back in the field. You ideally would not want to be sending the Legendary Ocean unless you're banishing it. All right, let's make them plays. Beansmith Engraver is the way. Reborn from Engrave. We're going to send the rank 8 Xyz to the graveyard. It is main phase 2. As we now sequence, fuse with the graveyard into the Lacrima. Lacrima on summon is going to be reborning our Lacrima Tears, banishing from their graveyard to summon our Bestial into a Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel on summon, banish away the field spell. Further going into a Little Knight. Okay, instead of just a Desiree, we got the Chaos Angel and Little Knight to banish both other cards on the field. Now, when the Karyushin comes back onto the field during the end phase, it will be activatable to search for another Umi, which we got rid of the Little Knight, which was going to out it. Temporarily banishing it, that is. Ignumde is going to be reborning the Crimson Tear. Crimson Tear is going to send from the deck here a Paradise, which will activate on special summon. We do have Drill Beam activatable. Banishing away the Karyushin, negating the search, and then from there, we have to deal with the Paradise. On special summon, they could trigger Desiree to send a card we control to the grave. Can we play through that? I don't think so. Let's see. Searching for Lacrima. Discard Lacrima. Were we out of Lurie? What the heck? No Lurie. Reborn Engraver, and we're just going to do it right now. We're just going to fire it off. We're going to also trigger the Regain. Desiree, send the Engraver to the grave. Let's hop into game number 2. We successfully set up our Floodgate, but remember, I said this before the Primate cards came out, that Floodgates are no longer good at all with Drill Beam being playable. We have Wedju Temple setting up our back row. Timeless did win game 1, so Trap Plays is going again first. Beansmith sequence, fuse with the graveyard into Lacrima. On the resolution, we have to Nibiru for 2 reasons. Reason 1 is going to be a Wave King Caesar, which will negate Nibiru. Reason 2 is an Apollo USA, which will negate Nibiru. So 2 different ways to negate Nibiru. You got to do it. And the Crossout Designate was not activatable for Nibiru. No Nibiru in sight. Putting the token in attack position. Interesting. We're going to Fiendsmith and Paradise, trigger to send the Nibiru to the graveyard here. Get that full out. Let's return back Lacrima. Let's speed this up. We still have our normal summon. Karyushin. Let's go. The Fiendsmith plays were just to bait you. And we did not use Ash, but we'll use Ash on the Karyushin, which would turn on the Floodgate. So the Floodgate's now off. This needs to search for Umi or a card that is considered Umi. Otherwise, you are no longer floodgated and it has no effect whatsoever on the field. Useless. You do have Ash. Did we have Paradise in the graveyard? No, just Ash. Negate the load, searching for a barrel, but I already have barrel. Uh-oh. We're not going to normal summon anyway. We have Lacrima, Crimson Tear, send from the deck here, go into the Requiem. Requiem is going to be summoning from the deck Engraver. Equip onto the Engraver the Requiem, send the Karisha into the graveyard. As the Engraver, also for the Reborns. We're at 6,000 life because of using the Millennium cards, meaning we lose. That's it. Lacrima burn for game. Lacrima at 36, so that's 4,800 damage, and that is more than enough for game. Agnumde's even more damage. Burn for 12, attack with 18, then Reborn from Engrave. Just like that. Come back, Lacrima for game. Unfortunate scenario there. A well-timed Ash Blossom. The discipline on holding our Ash. We went through Senju, which could have been ashed. We went into the Tract, which could have been ashed. We went into Requiem, which could have been ashed. We said, no, no, no. I have Nibiru. I'm going to save my Ash for your Umi part of your deck. And that's exactly what we did. So through proper use of the exact moment to use our Nibiru and holding on Ash the entire time until when it mattered, that is why we won.